Well, well, well. Welcome to the Architects of Fate streaming extravaganza. That's right. You've found the self-proclaimed original Twitch TTRPG stream that lets you shake up our world. Now pay attention, because this is how it works. If you'd like to add some loops to this roller coaster ride of a show, you're gonna need fate chips. Now these magical loyalty points can be earned just by watching, following, hosting, subscribing, or just engaging with us in the chat. It's like free money, people. With your fate chips, you can use your powers as an architect to heal your favorite players, summon items that will make their adventure a lot easier, or a lot harder. You can even make players say or sing outrageously silly things. Think of those possibilities. But wait. There is more. You can also toss our unsuspecting heroes into random encounters that will leave them sweating, strategizing, and questioning their life choices. All it takes is a quick redeem command in the chat. You choose the item or action and the player you want to mess with, and we'll take it from there. So sit back, relax, and prepare yourselves for a mind-blowing spectacle of storytelling and mayhem. We've got adventure, we've got drama, and more surprises than a clown car at a kid's birthday party. So let's go!
Hello, everyone. Hello, all you Architects of Fate. And I gotta say, welcome to Star Trek Strange New Playtest, where tonight we're going to be playing the Quick Start episode, Celestial Algorithm. This is episode 3, the one about the whales, because I think that's very funny. And what I want to do is welcome a new player who is Darth Sarcastic, otherwise known as Steve, and he will be hopping in as a Lieutenant Rashid Kamel. He played last night, and he's coming on strong in the Architects rankings. It's like he's building up his rep. So what I want to do is, Steve, would you introduce yourself, and then I'll have the rest of the group introduce themselves. Of a little bit about you, and also who you're playing.
Okay. As the man said, my name is Steve. Sometimes go by Darth Sarcastic. So for this episode, I'm playing the helmsman, Lieutenant Junior Grade Rashid Kamal. I will avoid doing any accents, as I don't want to offend anybody watching. About me, I've been playing since most of our viewers were born, since before your sun burned hot in space. So please feel free to, poke my brain for questions or intelligence or whatever you got going.
Okay, I just made a note in the chat about Rashid's potential accent.
I think I can manage that.
I think it should be.
Mine's through, but that's fine.
I think it would be wonderful, because I will say, as a total I'm just going to want to break this out. We went to go to the UK before all hell broke loose with the pandemic. And the coolest thing and the most disturbing thing to my Midwest sensibilities was seeing somebody who was clearly Asian, right? Korean, I think, with a Scottish brogue. It broke my brain when I was on the train. I just heard this guy, and we were all going to Edinburgh, so it was kind of funny. Anyway, so I'm very happy to you can pick up a more non-stereotypical accent, because remember, English or Federation Standard may not be your language, and that's how you probably learned it. You learned it from a language tape that had a Scottish accent. So Venomous Toucan, I've wasted enough time. How you doing? Who are you? What are you? And what have you got for Steve?
I am Venomous Toucan, also called Owen, also called the Immaculate One. There are many things happening here. Tonight am playing Commander Zathras Thraquil. I am Andorian. I am totally not angry. I promise I will Vulcan logic my way with muscles. It's great. Because we're friends now, us and the Vulcans. Questions for Steve. Q, Borg, Bear.
Oh God.
Q, Borg, Bear.
So is this like beam
You're gonna
shuttlecraft promote? What are we asking here?
Which situation would you rather be stuck in suddenly? The Borg have arrived, or there's a bear in the shuttle bay. Pick one.
Probably deal with the Q. Well, the Borg would offer me a good vacation, so I wouldn't say no to them. Being mauled by a bear, it's not my idea of anything, really.
But the question of how the bear got on the ship is important. And are there more? And was it sentient?
But this time I'm not.
See, there's a lot of nuance to the bear.
But this time I'm not
But the
playing
Q
security.
and the Borg,
so
you
I
just
don't
know
have to
what
worry
they're
about
about.
Oh God.
You have to understand its motivation.
Oh God. Well, that's the problem. No one ever took the craft seriously.
What's the bear's
So, Mortis, I think everybody now needs to answer the Q-Borg bear question as well, just to bog this down more. Hey, Jim. Your name is Jim.
No.
Tell us about yourself. What you doing?
I am playing Dr. Voraal, and I'm just your average Vulcan medic, or chief medical officer, and just trying to keep everybody healthy and safe. And as far as my question, well, I guess I better answer the Borg. What's it again? Borg, bear,
Q. Or
I'd go with Q. I would hope that maybe I could just tag along and maybe he'd give me some Q powers or something.
Oh,
and
that's
convince him of that.
Wait, are you that?
I'm definitely not fighting a bear, and I can't outrun my other shipmates, so I'm definitely the one that the bear's going to eat. And I'm not into the whole Borg idea there. I don't want everybody hearing my thoughts. So, but my question would be, who's your favorite captain, Steve, out of the entire universe, from cartoons to Next Gen to Discovery to whatever? Who's your favorite captain?
I guess I've always been a Kirk guy. That's,
Same here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna throw any sand at anything. I was gonna say mine would be Captain Thursday. The Enterprise B's captain. Just because you could just sit back and let a legend fix shit. Andy killed Kirk. So he did what no one else could. He managed to kill Captain Kirk.
And he's my favorite because he was Cameron in
Ferris
Ferris
Bueller's
Bueller's
Day
Day
Off,
Off.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
and
nice.
being a fellow Cameron, when I saw the movie, the first thing in my mind was, "Oh my God, Cameron's in charge of the Enterprise."
Yep.
It was a dream come
He's
true.
gonna
So what
keep
other-
calling.
so,
He's gonna keep calling me. He's gonna keep
you-
calling me until I come.
I really like the idea that that's how he responds to red alerts or responds to distress calls. You know, they're going to keep calling until I show up. Speaking of dreams,
And that's why he
Yep.
took the shit out of it.
I want to know, Cam. Speaking of what small dreams you might have, and who's going to keep calling you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your character, and come up with some playmates and also some Steve question.
Some playmates.
Well, what three playmates?
All right, well.
Which of the three playmates are you good for?
Oh, Q, Borg, or Bear.
I don't know, Jim.
Yeah, well,
I
first
decided
up-
you were Jim. Okay. I got it written down here. I found it in one spot. And why the hell? We played 2 games, man. I apologize. Cam, why don't you go ahead while I take Jim aside?
Well, you do.
I'm going to take him aside.
business.
It's not even.
right.
We're just going to take him out back. Take him out back and put him in the warp core.
All right.
We're
So, hey, chat and everybody watching. I'm
Both of
Cam, super long time Star Trek viewer since a 3-year-old in 1966. Actually, I checked the air date. It was in January of 1967 was the first episode I can clearly remember. And that was Galileo 7. And I've been role-playing almost as long because I started with the 3-book original D&D books that came out in 1973 or something like that. So I've been doing this shtick forever, and to be able to do Star Trek on Twitch is a new and very exciting thing to do. As far as Q, Borg, or Bear, I think I'm going to just go right along with everybody else and say Q. I think the Borg can't really be reasoned with. I think the Bear, it's just too much for me. It would take me out very quickly. But Q, for all his crazy, powerful, godlike attributes, kind of has a soft spot for the feds and humanity, and I think you can reason with him. I mean, you have to put up with his torments, and he's kind of like that guy who's like a bully, but he's also kind of your friend. So yeah, I could dig hanging out with Q, and I would rather he show up to assault my ship. Now a question for Darth Sarcastic, and I asked a good one last night, and I don't want to repeat myself. So this is more difficult to come up with this time, but I guess in terms of ship designs, which Enterprise do you like the best?
Ooh,
From
Good
all the way
question.
from Archer's Enterprise through the Enterprise J, if anybody likes that garbage scow. Pardon me for my own personal opinion being injected in on the J, but so, Enterprise all through G, J, whatever one.
And Enterprises. Okay. I mean, I've always liked the general Constitution vibe, but I kind of saw where they were going when they started, like with the Excelsior and so on. Making that neck space less of a target. It's a good question because I'm just trying to. It would have to be a toss-up between A, B, and E, are the ones that really catch me.
All right.
But I've always liked the ships that didn't look like the Constitution. Like stuff you get out of the Franz Joseph manual.
Yeah.
Or the Larson class from the Fossa games. Those were fun to look at.
Those were cool. I like the Fossa ship designs.
Man, you guys are. I just want to yell. I
We're
want to yell
total
nerd
nerds.
at everybody.
We're like total nerds.
And to
Feel free. I wear that.
Yeah, it's ideal.
Yeah, it is a badge
we
of
can
honor.
we can call each other nerds. Okay, so Rowdy Rob, how about your everyone's giving you time to think, so pressure's on.
Yeah. All right, no problem. My name's Rob, Rowdy Rob. Long-time TTRPGer, playing games back in the 80s. Middle-earth role-playing, Robotech, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Paranoia. You name it, I've played them all. And I'm excited to take up the role of Lieutenant Zoe Hernandez again tonight, Science Officer. And I will take Bear, actually, from the board, Q and Bear. I'm a avid outdoorsman and a hunter, so I'm not too worried about confronting the bear. And my question for Steve is a little bit different, I guess, than everybody else. And I won't lie, I went to ChatGPT to come up with something really, really esoteric. And the question is, what is Reg Barkley's full name?
Wait, you don't have to turn it into a trivia thing.
Well, no, I know it's Reginald Barkley, but if we're talking middle names, I have no idea.
Reginald Endicott.
Oh, good
Barkley.
Lord! Yeah, with the third. The third. Yeah. You might want to ask him more about his turn-ons, turn-offs kind of thing.
Yeah. No, well, I did ask before we started streaming, whether there were any guidelines around, what we should be asking, and I didn't get any. So,
welcome
fair game.
to my DMing style and my DMing downfall. I guess. Is there anything that nobody asked you that you're just dying to share, Steve, since we're just going to take Rob's slot?
No, I'm good.
Okay. And we're also now going on about all the other games in chat that they'd rather be playing than the one I'm running. So I'll try not to take that too personal. I will say, I heard Robotech and I went, ooh, baby.
I know that was a deep cut for me because I
still have all my books.
Oh, you got mega damage.
I've got all my books. Invid Invasion,
Sweet.
Zentradi. It's pretty awesome.
I only have the Zentradi and the Robotech manual for Savage Worlds. I don't have the Invid Invasion.
Wait, did they actually do that for Savage Worlds? They got the license?
Yeah, there was a Robotech model. There was a Robotech build for Savage Worlds, just like there was a Rifts build for Savage Worlds, just like before I found this. Whenever I wanted to play Star Trek, I'd throw Savage Worlds at it. It stuck.
But they're not official, right? Why am I worried about this?
Oh no, it was official.
Why the hell am I worried? Why the hell am I worried about this? Captain's log. Supplemental, because I don't feel like looking up the start date. My old friend is sleeping now, and right now the Commander Xanthus brought back the passengers and the crew and I don't know what to call them. The people that were on the ship is what I'm gonna loosely call these people. And we're going to find out exactly what is going on around there, and possibly if they'll have some clue as to how to deal with this entity called the Celestial Algorithm. And so we now open. It's not in middle of action. This is in middle of conference. Which is the most Star Trek way to open a scene is with a briefing room scene. So the captain's there, her 3 workers are there, and Scone is there, and we have to decide, has Scone removed his mask or not?
Let's say no, because secretly he knows who Burke is, and Burke knows who he is, and he doesn't want to get caught. Because doesn't want to get outed as being on this ship.
Oh, that's okay. I think Zoe put it on blast, if I remember right. Who put it on blast? Was it Voraal or Zoe? I think it was Zoe. It was whoever had galactic politics. That was Zoe. Yeah.
That's Zoe.
Zoe had galactic politics. Rashid, one of the things you notice is that the Orions are dressed. Well, also, yeah, just letting you all know, these are people that are just wearing leather harnesses and hot pants that don't necessarily have a full back. So there's going to be some towels put on chairs. I think that was probably the first thing that Ben Jackson did, was put towels down on all the chairs, because he didn't want his crew having to clean up body oil or glitter. So let me see. Let me double check. Okay, and I might need a little help with. But yeah, the other thing is, you notice, I think, what was the fashion designer's name? Was it Saran Eldaran?
It was Saren Elarian.
Okay, I'm better. Rashid, you have a hobby, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of the reasons figured I'd just chuck you in the deep end. Fashion plate is one of your hobbies, and also you know a security guard named Charlie, who also keeps up on fashion. And it's not anything. It's just like you're aware of what's trending, what looks good, what doesn't look good, because you have no idea. And then Cam just put up Zardoz. And all the other stuff is space chaps.
That's what those pirates
look
like.
Literally what they're looking like. And you have a lore dump if necessary, too, because this is how world building works. Anyway, the captain is, the captain's trying to get Khethex to talk about what happened or what their mission is or anything like that. And Khethex is just saying, hey, look, we got scooped up by this thing. We have no idea. It stressed out my engines and burnt us, almost burnt us out. The landing party or the away team found no evidence that there was any kind of piracy going on. But do you guys have any, essentially, rather than have Nella talk to herself or me talk to myself, you guys can open the group to questions?
Well, I'd like to know, was it an assault that damaged your ship's engines, or did they just shut off?
Well, we just had to find our accent. We actually fought that thing, that beam that brought us in. We tried to escape it, and that's when the plasma relays blew, because I was trying to evade this thing and escape it. And when our engines went, that was the end of the thing. That was the end of our thing. We were adrift in here, trying to make repairs till you found us. And at that point, Scone is kind of gonna snort and say, I thought that was all part of the evading the Starfleet attack police craft. And now he's feeling like his joy was ruined, that he was actually in danger. So he's starting to rethink this whole thing, because now it took him a second to realize that, oh, this isn't part of an act. This is a thing now.
Oh, you thought we were safe.
Yes. Who else has some questions for the
Have you seen anyone else in here?
No, we haven't seen anybody. We got pulled in. There was a ship that we were tracking that. There was another ship that we were trying not to be around, and they, I don't know what happened to them. She's a bit evasive.
Did you receive a transmission from the entity?
Oh, you saw our comms, man. We didn't receive anything. And also, as a meta thing, given the trouble the comms officer had deciphering the memo, you definitely, no chance these guys did it without a lot of work. and definitely not any of the crew.
Right.
But yeah, we don't know where this is. I mean, where is this place anyway? Captain's just going to let you guys figure it out from your player notes.
Right.
She's looking around like,
Good question.
wait, what do you mean? Starfleet doesn't know where we are? And she's like kind of, she's nervous and excited all at the same time that this is the case.
Yeah. We are officially off every known map. There be monsters here.
We're at the edge of Federation space.
Yeah, I just tossed a note in for Steve if he needed it. You have some thoughts. So that's how I'll go with it.
I probably do, and they're probably all inappropriate. Let's see. Space-time flexion. All right. Let's see what I can come up with that.
But yeah, while you're gathering, Voraal, do you have any questions about anything? Because you've cleared them of the beta particles, which is pretty cool. There was no STDs that you could detect. The biofilters weren't as good in the 23rd century.
I don't know. There's probably not medically anything, but I'm kind of curious as to what this other ship is that was chasing them that they were avoiding.
Yeah, she was rather evasive on that point. Sorry?
Zathras is concerned about the same thing. He just doesn't know how to bring up, these people are probably a security risk. I want them off my ship.
You can like bend one antenna, and you can actually, because you know each other, and because Xanthus and Nella are both close colleagues, you could probably do something, with a look, or you could say, "Hey, I've got a subtext. I'm going to do something with a look," and that's totally fine.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you need to. If you need her to take an action or suggest something that's simple. That would be cool. But yeah, go ahead.
Then I will absolutely try to pass the message that with just my look and how both of my antenna point at them, that currently I consider them the worst security threat on the ship.
Well, it's not like they're hiding weapons anywhere. But yeah, so she's, she just leaves you the look of like noted, and if you want to bring in an extra security guard or two, while you're at it, we can stand a couple of people around, to pad the scene. But yeah,
I think as a Vulcan, Dr. Voraal would probably just outright ask it. Why were you avoiding the other ship?
Well, and in our sort of business, discretion is very important to our clients, which is absolutely horrible right now. They've just done a great job of keeping anonymity and everything. But
who would be concerned about your clients?
There's people that.
What client would that be?
I find your answer to be evasive. What people?
Let me see. Well, I mean, the client, she just sort of does a sidelong glance over at Scon. Like as if, are you really that thick? This is my client. No one may have explained any of this to Dr. Voraal, but she said, well, we provide a service, and our clients require discretion. And I know Starfleet is all about, protecting personal privacy.
Yes, I understand that your clients require privacy. I'm concerned about who it is that you're trying to keep them hidden from.
People that would maybe take advantage of someone desiring discretion.
Someone that would take it and attempt to use it for political gain. Is that what you're saying?
Political, financial, or just, tormenting somebody for kicks. You never know out here. Because we're out here, out away from your clean little federation. We're dealing with real things here. Commodities, exchange, trade, all these things that people, need a service or want a service. And we're good. So, she's continuing to evade. If you want to do something, or if someone wants to come in and maybe do a cross exam, because I could see someone setting something up and then another person just hitting them. Yeah.
I actually have a thing here of specifically as she's finishing that, to just kind of append to the end and see how she reacts in slavery. And I just want to do an insight and see insight with one of these and see how does she react to those words.
Let me see. She will. That's a good point. So let me see. That would be. Is it insight? Yeah. It would be like insight and security, because and you have an interrogation focus, right, or something like that.
No, all of my focus is on let's see, energy weapons, hand-to-hand combat, infiltration, shipboard tactical systems, small craft, and survival.
Okay.
I'm afraid I have no specialties here for interrogation.
While he pokes with that question, if anybody else has a focus, they might be able to catch a person in a line.
Yeah, Guardian, I would like to say that I could probably assist, because I've got psychiatry, and I could be, I don't know if we're playing good cop, bad cop, but with the two of us sort of hammer away, I feel like I could probably do
You're playing fierce cop, logical cop.
I would love for you to play good cop to my bad cop, because I was about to say, can I use intense so that I'm glaring at them as if I'm going to nail them to a wall?
Yeah, and also it is unnerving to see a Vulcan and an Andorian dealing with each other in a positive way. So that's, again, everyone's a little bit racist. So what'll happen is, to get what she's up on, what I'd like to do is have Xanthus, I'd like you to take the lead, and if you succeed, what'll happen is Voral's assist will count. Okay? And I'm gonna go dice against against dice with you. And what I'm gonna do is yes.
I was gonna buy an extra D20 by adding some threat to this, so that I get the bonus momentum for each D20 I purchase.
Last I knew, we had 2 momentum at the end of the last session.
Oh, you just had 2? I thought we had 6.
Well, I did. I think I missed a game in there. So
yeah, we had a pile. And actually, we're going to use, like someone suggested, 2nd edition rules, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys can bank up to 10 momentum. Which is 2 per active player, because otherwise it was a little bit no fun. You guys would burn through it too quick. So go ahead, and you're gonna push. So you're gonna try and do. What can I do with my other points? What's Super Joe Fly asking? Okay. What you can do is you can do redeems with your points. Super Joe Fly? Let me see. Here we go. You can do a redeem. And then here's items. Sorry, I didn't have a... Oh, Atlas has got it. Thanks, Atlas. That was all in the pre-roll. So anyway, what I apologize. What I'm going to do is have you just How many threat are you gonna drop down on me with security?
I'm only gonna give you one threat for a D20,
Okay.
and it's with my tense. But I'm blackmail, extortion, slavery, cannibalism.
Okay. See what they trip off on.
And divert. Yeah.
Okay. So what'll happen is, go ahead, and her dice is gonna be. Let me see. I'm just gonna grab my screen, do a thing. Don't be scared because it's 5d20, but I only take the first 2. Okay. So she's generated 3 momentum on her side. She has 3 successes. So you guys will need to be 3 successes to kind of crack what she's hiding.
Got it.
Oh, and don't be scared to take another 2 momentum and buy a 4th dice.
That's exactly what I was about to do. Was say, okay, I'm gonna take 2 momentum and buy a 4th die on this. 8, 10, 9, 17. So I have 3 successes.
No, any success. Yeah, any success on your
die.
part automatically allows Dr. Voral's assist. So go ahead, Dr. Voraal, and you can do with your focus in Xeno or with Psych, and you can do this as medical. And Insight is your core stat, unless you want to try and do it any other way.
No, I like that. Insight medicine makes sense
Okay.
to me on that. So, and that is 2 successes. I rolled a 2 with the focus of psychiatry. I should
Okay,
be 2
so you guys get
successes there.
an additional 2 information requests out of this that can be opened up to the group. You definitely get a rise out of her with slavery, as well as, believe it or not, you use the word poaching. Apparently poaching showed up in your brain. So that was those were the 2 things that she definitely reacted to. Now you have either 2 cross-examine or other questions. And Rashid, what I need, Rashid, could you make a, what are my stats here? I apologize. Rashid, I need you to make a reason and either science or con.
I'll go with con. That
Okay.
it's the
And you
better
don't
one.
have to screen it.
Gotcha.
So it's a difficulty 1 challenge.
Okay, and is there any focuses, astronavigation, or something?
Anything that would be, let's pretend migration patterns. Hazard to navigation is also counted. That's one of the reasons I let you use con.
Okay, there you go. That's 12, so let's see what I get. Nope, but no crits, so no 20s, but no joy.
Oh, you failed the...
Yep.
Oh, you're kidding me. Okay, hey, Zoe.
Yep.
I threw a spotlight and you just went, you're thinking really hard. Zoe, you catch some vibe from Rashid that Rashid is just thinking about something that involves the area of space you're in. So what I need is a throwback to science and probably science and reason. And any success will do.
Science and reason, that is a 15. All right.
The hell?
Nope, 2 16s.
Okay, well, too bad. This is what we're gonna do. I'm just leaving. This is the reason that I never run a murder mystery, because it's like, oh, they blew their roll. I guess the killer goes free.
Yeah.
Let me see. An Atlas looks like she's sorting out Super Joe Fly. You can just yell in chat what you want to have happen and just throw nickels at us, Super Joe Fly, if necessary. What? Yep.
Can we use 2 momentum to create a trait? Maybe.
Yeah,
Is that-
you can create an advantage or a situation. Yeah, create a trait. What you need.
Well, I meant more so you can help us. We'll spend some momentum, and you can help us understand.
Oh, they
what's
can do
going
that.
on.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget I think we've got a determination that we can spend for
Oh yeah,
a reroll.
if you want to, I wouldn't personally burn it, but but if you do, yeah, Super Joe, you can do a thing called create an advantage or disadvantage or yeah, you're absolutely right. That's advantage. And that just gives us momentum. Okay, thanks for keeping that. Make it sprinkle. All right, so what you guys both missed, that's fine. But, definitely she did that. What are your 2 questions now that I didn't have a springboard for you? For Voraal and Xanthus. You each get like a question, I guess.
To ask them a follow-up question now and be able to see how they react.
Okay.
Because his immediate thought from what they reacted to was and remember, he's being the intense security officer right now.
Well, this is his job. Yeah.
If I strip your ship to assist in repairs down to the bulkheads, how many sentient beings will I find that did not embark with you when you left your port of origin?
Willingly.
Oh, she just has this big old smile and says, I can't believe that you're being this racist. So she's like, you've been on my ship, man. I can at most get,
your ship apart.
I can at most get, 7,500 credits for somebody who is an unpaid intern, because you can't use that other word or else you get demonetized. So, hey, if I was dealing in unpaid interns, I'd have a way better ship.
Are they Clinton?
All right, so.
All right, I like the idea that she put Xanthus back in his place, but yeah, she easily calls your bluff. She said, hey, and actually we could use a good dusting.
Okay, so despite reacting to the word slavery, she's pretty solidly clear that they don't have slaves actively on the ship right now.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
I don't need to send over a security team to find someone who's currently starving to death because their jailers aren't feeding.
Or dead of radiation poisoning. Yeah, either one.
Or dead of radiation poisoning. Yeah.
Okay, Doc?
Well, Dr. Voral's question would be, who are you poaching clientele from that you have to worry that you're being chased?
Oh, people come to us. Actually, the funny thing is that gets kind of you know how like a gaggle of gay guys laughing at you? Maybe that's just a personal thing. This might be a little too personal. But you have a bunch of people just laughing about how not off base you are, but how ridiculous what you just said sounds. And who's the mouthy one? Gala the Orange, Orion. Actually Herod Tsar, the person who's dressed up in the cheesy Aladdin outfit, just says, "Oh, honey, people come to us because they know we are the best." And then he basically then has that little riding crop with him and gives Scone a bit of a swat on the leg. To which he grunts a little bit and still says, "This is really interesting." But I think I could use comms and maybe a personal fresher at this point.
I don't know then, because I thought she was upset about the word poaching.
She reacted to the word poaching, but yeah, because everybody blew this. It's like there was going to be an extra clue and it didn't work. But yeah, you're left with a mystery. Why was she worried about poaching and slavery? Why did she react to those? But she reacted to them when you guys were asking about the other ship. Does that help refocus things?
The ship that they were running from. Oh.
Or they were captured by.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Rashid to try again with a. Let's try this again. Let's see how those dice how cooled off have those dice become, gentlemen. Let's try an insight and con. Let's go with that. I mean, given you're rolling 16s, it's not like
same difference.
Okay.
I got an 8, so that's one success.
Okay. No 20?
No 20s.
You do have an idea about this region of space, that it has a lot of what you call terrain, all right, and a lot of habitats for extra planetary life forms. So you do know that that's a situation where, this is a region of space that it's a little bit hard to deal with. It's a little bit hard to scan, and it's also one of the things it does. Don't forget we can use momentum if we need to. Sorry about that.
Yes.
But it's also a harder. It's also a great place for piracy because it's a little harder to detect things. So you can bring that up in terms of sharing that with the crew. I don't know how you might want to do it.
Okay. Well, I would be thinking that maybe we want to see if we can't compare sensor and astronavigational data.
Okay.
Or at least get theirs and compare it to ours, and just see, from another point of view, as it were, what they've, maybe they picked something up that we missed.
Okay. Well, why don't you go over and pull that? You might not have the access. Burke, what did you have? Or do you want to ask Burke for maybe a hack?
Yeah. Well, in front of our guests, I'll ask for assistance, but
pretend you have a phone. You got those little switches in front. Remember how you can notice on the grid that there's these little teeny like switches on the in front of the comms panels, and just pretend somehow it's an elaborate form of Morse code that you guys have. That's like 1960s version of the future texting. Zoe, what I need is one thing that might occur to you is possibly to scan their ship's hull for resonance. Like if they were near or in the middle of anything that was unusual. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, let's go with the science and either reason or control. Well, actually, it's thinking. So it's science and reason or science and insight.
We'll go science and reason.
And if you need to grab any, whatever it's called, if you need to grab any extra momentum or anything.
Yeah, I will use a momentum to add an extra die. I get dedicated computer. No, it's not computer and programming. Okay, yeah, 3 die. Okay. So 1. You marking it? You subtracting it?
I will in a sec. I was going to say congratulations, Atlas, for the 43-month subscription. You are a lifer. And you really help us. So you pulled 2 momentum or 1? 2?
Just one.
Okay,
just
sorry.
one.
Thanks.
All right, 3 successes.
All right. You only needed 1. So you have either two questions or can bank. The thing you notice is that this ship's hull is, in addition to being treated with, kind of stealthing technology, which is expected, it just does some minor stuff. It's been abraded or worn away in a way that indicates like a stream of alpha particles, like it had been hovering around a star in the past, or had come fairly close to it. Like, how like there's no reason to go near a star unless you're up to something, without a reason. But it looks like a stream of alpha particles has abraded some of the stealth coatings on the ship, which would be indicative of possibly being exposed to a source of alpha particles. That would be like a sun, or possibly some sort of other stellar phenomenon that you can make up, but since I haven't named it, is a red herring. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then, you guys can do with what you want, but I want to see Burke and Rashid. Where did we leave off your attempt to pull the logs?
Am I just
question in the
Yes.
new rule set? If you have 2 momentum, can you still create an advantage if you have 2
Oh
extra?
yeah, I think you can create the advantage at any time. Actually, if you can rationalize it.
Okay.
I'm
Oh, is it
gonna go with
any time?
any
Okay.
But yeah, you can spend the momentum right on. And you could also just spend those momentum to say, oh, while I'm at it, I'm going to create an advantage.
So just an idea thrown out there for the group here is maybe we take 2 momentum, we create an advantage that this scan gives us a particular piece of information that if we use it could get them off center, basically put our people like when you used your slavery, poaching and stuff like that, we got a rise. Maybe we can create an advantage with the information we get out of this scan, and as we start talking about it at the table, gives us some clues possibly from the group that we're interrogating here. Just an idea.
Well, that sounds fantastic.
Okay. What would the advantage be? Basically, something that you've.
Basically, when we start talking about this scan across the table, if there's something to be had information-wise, they're going to have a tell
We're trying to
that we
put
know.
that back off balance again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this will lower Zarthra's. This will make it one step harder, or she'll lose a success every time she has to go dice to dice with you, if that makes sense. So that she's going to be a little more amenable,
that's awesome. Yeah.
Or at least less. You can read her easily. Yeah. All right. So you got her set up to be a little more easy to read.
It's kind of like oh crap, they're closing in on us, kind of.
She's
thing.
normally pretty cool, but Thelav, Gala, and Haratsar are going to be. They might be chatterboxes too. All right. So what I'm going to do is, Rashid, you've got a chance to look at their logs based on what successes you had. And what I'm gonna say is, I'm just gonna throw out a stellar system. In a okay, and then anybody else who wants to do oh man, I really want to do this. One of the things, Zoe, you're going to recognize as soon as that's issued about the star, the alpha particles and things, once that comes to light, you'll probably unlock a clue.
Okay.
But you can keep it to yourself if you want to, Rashid.
No.
It's like-
No. I'll put it up on the on the viewer thing in the middle of the table with a little sort of arrow at Delta Omega.
Okay.
It's very interesting you folks are over at Delta Omega. There's a lot of alpha emissions. What would you be doing at a J-class star?
As well, we've detected some transgenetic plasma signatures on the hull.
Oh, that's a good one.
Which
Yes.
which is very, very strange, Captain. So I think you owe us an explanation. These are not native of this area, and clearly you're keeping something from us.
She's like, well, lots of people go to, Delta Omega. It's nice. It's got some nice scenery. There's some great plasma arcs. All kinds of things. It's really nice. And my clients really enjoy seeing the stars. They don't get a chance to leave the Federation and go live a little dangerously. And she's obviously leaving out a lot here. So you guys can try and crack her if you want. But Scone's like.
If you were gonna live a little dangerously.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Zathras. If you were gonna live a little dangerously, you should have gone a little better armed.
Yeah, that's a thought. But I've always found out if you get out of someone's way, and if you don't look like you're out for trouble, you just generally don't get it. I'm not sure. And I will say I'm not sure how well that holds up for her, but that's what's happening. But yeah, if I don't look like I'm heading for trouble, it leads to less questions. But yeah, she's got. Anyway, she's doing something. What I'm gonna do is also have the comms officer chime in and say something like, "It's circles, guys," and then he's gonna log off. He's gonna say it's circles, and he's gonna giggle a bit, and he's gonna turn the comms off.
It's circles.
Circles.
So would Zoe maybe know if this wildlife? There was a reference to migration patterns earlier. Would she know what this wildlife is? Maybe there's like some valuable like whale oil.
Space whale oil.
Space whale oil.
Yeah, if you want to look back through the sensor records, you put together alpha particles, you could make a Star Trek leap of logic if you felt like it. But yeah, you know that there's a wetland out there. It's just beyond the edge of Federation space, so it's not well surveyed. But you can just decide. Oh, we know that there's Gormagander hanging out there.
And with the traces on the ship, obviously, would align with that supposition.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
You're okay to make that leap if you want.
So, Captain, it seems like perhaps you've been involved in not just some human trafficking, as it were, but perhaps some wildlife trafficking. And I'm pretty sure that we can scan the ship and find even more traces of that. So perhaps you want to come clean. I know that the Gondobar. I don't know.
What are you doing?
The Gondobar cephalons of where was it here? Delta Omega are very prized for their hormone sacs.
Oh God. So you're trying to launch them into a catch them in a lie. Philip is gonna fall for it. And he's just going to say, look, we clean everything. You will not find mess in the ship. We keep a tidy ship, man. We keep a tidy ship. To which Zara just like looks and just thumps her head on the fucking table at this point.
Your ship is currently radioactive, so lie.
Hey, look, that's an engine thing, okay, man? That's engines. I am we, and he points to Gala and Harad Sar. He says, we are professionals, and we take that very seriously. Because otherwise, word gets around, clients will drop you like a Klingon with a clap. They'll drop you like a one-dick Klingon. But yeah, so they took umbrage that you were going to find any traces of any of that stuff, and and Zara is like completely pissed about this. So she's not sure what the hell to do about this. But you do also notice that the comms officer breaking in with circles may remind you that the system indicated pi, that the celestial algorithm actually transmitted the code for pi to you. That you were trying to decode it.
Right, circles.
But he's okay.
Got it.
We can do something with that or not. Yeah, I have to have somebody pull out a gun at this point to move things along. Right now, they're very they're just asking, well, can we like be done? Because we got a client that, you kind of took us out of our ship, so I guess that's on you for a spot. And this is Thelev has just decided he's taken over the well-being of him and the boys, since Zara is not able to keep things moving.
Yeah, no, the Thavik is going over and getting on the comm. Security prepare 2 staterooms for extended stay guests. Disable the replicators if you would. And everything else.
Oh,
guards out front.
He says,
Thank
acknowledge
you.
what's a replicator.
Oh, sorry.
This is one of the few times I will ever do that to you,
yes.
By the way. But I get what you mean.
Thank you. Yeah. It's basically, you're not in my brig. That's the best you get.
Yeah, so they're happy, and they then hey, as soon as the muscle boys show up, they're going to be happy to be escorted to their quarters.
I'll do that on the down low.
Okay,
Guardian.
totally. Yeah, I mean, you could escort them, or you could examine. I don't know quite how you want to do that. Do that scan.
Oh, while we're headed to the brig is fine.
Yeah, they have a state.
Pulling out your medical tricorder behind them.
Checking their pheromone trails. Yeah. So what we can do is we can remove all of them as a unit. You guys don't seem to be overly concerned about the safety or security of the civilian. So I'm good with that. If you're good with that. He likes danger.
That's what
Yep,
I signed
okay.
up for.
Well, it seems to be there by choice. So
He seems to be there by choice, but I'm splitting them up into 2 sets of quarters.
Okay, who do you want to split them up as? And also, they will demand a door, the courtesy door, to make it a suite, even though that isn't possible. But they'll still make the demand.
They can make the demand all they want. I'm afraid I can't do that. I wanted to have.
I love the idea of the captain in one room and everybody else in the other.
Actually, yes. I like that idea.
It keeps them kind of out of each other's way.
Because, no, it's better than that. It's better than that. I can come to the captain later and go, you know they're going to rat on you to save their own hides, right? You'll lose your ship. It'll be easier to just tell me first.
Oh, man.
You can get a new crew. You can get a new crew.
Oh, man.
They're over there right now just spilling their guts.
I am the captain now. Yeah. Oh, that's quite good. Let me see. Open image in a new tab. Sorry, I wanted to grab a stateroom. I don't know if we'll actually ever use the stateroom, but we can try. There. Okay, so that's what you're saying to her on the way out?
I'm very familiar with advanced interrogation techniques.
Okay. That might not work on the other guys. Depends. Might be too much. Okay, so do you want to say this to them as they are going down the hallway or on the way out of the room? When do you want to drop this truth bomb?
Oh, I'm dropping that truth bomb on the captain after I put them in their separate room before I close the door.
Okay.
On just the captain by themselves, alone in their own private room.
So in your interrogation techniques, I just need a presence and security check, difficulty level 2, and then apply your apply your dooms. Your focus.
My
Sorry,
dooms?
I reverted back to something that was a little older. Just apply your focus to that for interrogation, I believe.
Yeah, I have infiltration, not interrogation.
I'm willing to give it. What are your values by any chance?
My values: a demeanor as icy as Andor itself. Don't start a fight, but don't back down from one either. Ready for action and loyal to Commodore Zen. So that icy demeanor is what I'm going for.
Yeah, we'll
with
use
this,
that
as
I'm going to allow that as a focus, if that makes sense to you. I'm just going to, again, we're beta testing rules and ignoring them at the same time, as is tradition. Okay, so she'll, so you'll grab them. We're going to do a scene in a hallway. And go ahead.
Two successes. So.
Okay. You definitely have given her something to think about. So she is. You can definitely see where she's concerned because Thalov has already done his business of ratting, of blabbing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you wanted to go in the other room and do that to them.
I'm actually going to go in the other room, and what I'm going to tell them is something else, something very different.
Do you want anybody with you, like the doctor might have accompanied you?
Absolutely, I really want the doctor with me. Actually, I'm very fond of having Dr. Voraal with me for how much it throws people off to see the two of us working together. It's one of my favorite things.
I'd like to come too because I think I can get Scon into an argument with Busterman. He might give us more information.
Okay. Anybody else need to feel they can come along, or are you all good then?
Zoe wants to try to scan the alpha particle signatures from Zara's ship in the entity. See if there's like a.
Okay, gotcha. What I think is going to happen is go ahead and you mean just run a comparison?
Yeah, just like we've already been scanning this entity, but the entity ship, just want to see if there's any traces of those alpha particles within that other ship.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so that would just be, you could probably set up a computer program for that because you've been dying to do that. Okay,
Yeah.
because that's the focus that's never come up.
Yeah. So that would be, it gives me a free bonus 20, and I get another D20 if it's related to my prior, from testing the theory, so I can roll 4 if it's related to the prior one that I succeeded on.
Okay, let me see. What was the last thing you succeeded on? That was setting up the alpha particles in the first place, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was relating to the alpha
Okay,
particles.
yeah, go ahead. Throw your 4 for the analysis.
Okay.
That's kind of heavy duty. I was not expecting to come in that well. I'm just gonna clean.
Which, the 4 die?
4
you
die.
mean?
It was like, whoa, that's all right. Yeah, we're gonna crack some stuff open.
There's no guarantees anyway, so. All right. I got a 1, a 3, a 15, and a 17. So I didn't get the difficulty before I rolled, but presumably it was science and
Yes.
reason.
Yep.
Anyway.
So that was
So
yep.
2 successes, 1 critical success.
Oh, don't forget you'd use your focus in computer science, so that makes that 3 a crit as well.
Right. I'm not sure where that is, but I don't have a focus in computer
I thought
science.
you had. Okay, I apologize. I thought you had a focus that applied in addition to a talent.
Physics and sociology, geology.
Okay, sorry
Gardening.
about that.
Botany.
All right.
No, it's all right.
But yeah, 3 successes pulls you out the 2 you needed. You don't see any relationship between what's been abrading the hull and the ambient radiation within within this waiting area. So you're not getting a match there that looks like whatever, this doesn't unlock any clues as to, say, the algorithms thing. But you had noticed on your scan, you were looking for resonance and various other transmissions in and out of the sphere, correct?
Yeah, anywhere in the sphere.
You do notice that the bridge seemed to be a source of an energy surge not too long ago.
The bridge of the Kenmore sphere?
The bridge of the Challenger.
Oh.
If there was some sort of an energy, some sort of a transient energy spike that didn't trip any alarms, but because you're kind of running things through with a fine-tooth comb, you do pick up like that there was something that seemed to transit the bridge area. And the time code goes to the time when the comms officer had what we call a tiny bit of a freak out.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure we cracked anything.
You might
open.
not have cracked anything open. Sorry about that. Yeah, I thought I got your hopes up, and I went, no, actually, those are totally 2 unrelated things. So I've just basically wild goosed you. However, you did pick up that additional clue about the comms officer, because that was something very much to do with at least this area of the waiting room.
Well, I'll update the Commodore at least on the findings.
Because they're all gone now, right? I mean, now it's let me see. Voral's not there. I'm not there. Rashid, you're there. And Zoe. Yeah. Because Nella's happy to hear that it's like, okay, good. So they don't have anything to do with what we're dealing with here. This is what I understand, right?
Well, so far within the waiting area, quote.
Yeah, because I'd like to. You know, the thing about a waiting area is I really don't want to wait. Now we know Is there any way? Do you think we could, answer this thing? That was one of the. We got a message that said, welcome and prove yourselves, right? So we need to prove ourselves.
We tried. Can we send? I mean, we can try to send back something else.
Okay. Let's send something else back. And also, Rashid, you're welcome to speculate and spitball if that's to your.
Well, I keep going back to the whole circles pie thing.
So they transmitted pi to us prior, and we sent back mathematical constant, but it didn't do anything. So maybe we can rebroadcast pi back to them.
That would be a start, probably. Just trying to think what else.
I don't know why we didn't think of that in the first place, but.
Do you want? Well, all right. And Nella just leans over to comms and says, "Comms officer, who I don't remember," which really sucks. Sorry about that, guys. Anybody remember the comms officer? Dear, what's his name?
No.
Yeah, literally, we're stuck, people. This is the sad part. I mean, the worst part is like Steve had the comms officer in his hand before we started the game, and I took him away.
What's up?
Let me see. Star Trek Adventure, straight to playtest. Character sheets. Leniar Tenon. So she says, Mr. Tenon, transmit pi back to the entity. And he just kind of dreamily says, why? And she's a little bit taken back by this and says, why is because I told you to. Transmit the code. And Ensign Tenon goes, okay, and he just kind of sighs and transmit and says, transmitting. This is not in any way in character for Tenon.
All right. Well, I'll communicate to Dr. Vorpal that we may have a problem on the bridge with an energy fluctuation that seemed to have passed through and strangely behaving crew.
Okay.
Does this behavior is this reminiscent of how the captain was behaving prior when she was on the bridge?
No, her behavior was more there was pain, a level of disorientation and possible hallucination. She kept calling people Jonathan and seemed to be talking also about, the Enterprise J for some reason. And so she was not, yeah, she was clearly disoriented and hallucinating. And it was in some ways painful and disorienting. Tenon seems like, I don't know, like one of your nieces. Because you have nieces, right? Zoe immediately now has nieces. But this reminds you of like when your niece is trying to, they just really are curious. You know, they're like a 4-year-old. Your niece is about 4. She's very curious. But she also really doesn't want to be told to do things. So that's that's what it's reminding you of.
Okay.
So you have 2 very different personalities or situations going on. Both may well be connected to the situation because they were both on the bridge at the same time. They were both affected at a similar time. So you're set there.
All right. Well, I'll update Dr. Voraal that the comms officer is acting like my niece Martina,
Okay.
who is a brat.
Okay. And what I want to do is Rashid. Comms comes back and says, "Well, I don't know. It didn't work. It just sent it back again."
Okay.
And then just starts
okay.
starts looking around. Hey, I'm spinning around in my chair right now, and you could almost hear. Actually, you see him in the little monitor because this is special effects for the '60s. You actually see Rashid doing, and I have to take my earplugs out, but you see Rashid, not Rashid. I apologize. Tennant go. And now I'm dizzy, so sorry about that.
Okay, I'll maybe try one more thing unless anyone else has any ideas, and then we can maybe cut to the other guys.
Yeah. I mean, Rashid, you can also brainstorm because it's like open.
Well, okay. So our comms officer is Betazoid. The other person who was affected, are they from a psychic race or anything like that?
No, Nella is a Trill, and I will say in this era, the concept of a symbiont is not known.
Right.
Just to kind of give you the quick, to keep you from getting hung up on anything.
Okay. Here's my other question. Is Dr. Voraal, who is a Vulcan, they're of a psionic background, is Dr. Voraal getting anything? Even if they're completely under their own control, would they be picking up something, being that they're from a psionic race?
That's a good question. I don't know, Dr. Voraal. So you guys are focusing on that.
I want to see if there's a connection.
I'd like to do my scan for the pheromones before.
Oh, okay. Did we want to? Rashid, how did we want to try and resolve it? Did you want to just call down at some point to ask that? I take it, or?
Well, I mean, I'm in the same room as the Commodore, so I would just suggest maybe there's some kind of connection to. And I mean, yeah, I don't know that the Trill have any Esper rating at all. If they're like humans, and a couple of them have a blip on the monitor, whereas Vulcans and Betazoids are way up there.
Yeah. Well, Nella thinks about it, and as you watch her eyes, she starts to kind of get a little more. Her eyes kind of unfocus slightly, and then refocus a little bit, and she said, "Look, I'm not going to have Gary Mitchell show up here without doing something about it. So yeah, I think we might want to start scanning the ensign right now." And she takes a much harder, more aggressive stance about that, and she actually calls the security officer while they're in the middle of something. But you're witnessing her react to this person. But she also looks and says, as for Dr. Voraal, I believe that she will tell us any impressions she has.
Mm-hmm.
And, we don't need to talk about that anymore with her. She's got enough on her mind. So that's her hot take on this.
So, can Zoe control broadcasts from here, maybe to send something back to this?
Yeah,
sphere?
you can actually have there's a terminal in the room, so you can use that. But yeah, the comms officer has nothing. So what do you want to do?
I want to broadcast the diameter of the sphere back to it. So pi times the diameter equals the size of the sphere.
Okay. You do send that, and no sooner do you send it than something weird starts happening. Because, as soon as you send something, something's going to happen. I need not necessarily dex rolls from everybody, but the equivalent. Everybody on the ship has a daring, a daring and security, or I'm going to go with a daring and engineering roll. You need at least one success.
Could you use fitness?
It's all of a sudden, so I'm going to be a jerk about this.
That's all right. That's never
okay.
a jerk. That's just a.
Because I want everybody to love me, but then I have to say no sometimes, and it kind of sucks.
That's your job.
Oh
as
no,
the GM.
not Matt Mercer didn't say that. All right, Randolph Scott didn't say that.
Oh.
Randolph Scott.
What was that?
There.
Luckily, I
Actually
got
made
my
it.
down.
Did everybody manage to make it?
2 successes.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
2 successes.
I got 2 successes.
How
What was that? What are you guys
how
doing
did
to my
Xanthus
ship?
do?
I've
Okay.
had no problems with it.
The ship is definitely
Zoe failed. Zoe failed.
What?
Sorry.
the person who actually
Yeah.
punched in the command that did this.
Unless you're going to let me use did the reading and swap out science for something else, then I would
Sure.
pass.
Keep in mind
That costs one
It
momentum.
costs 1 momentum.
I can spend 1 momentum to swap out science. for that.
Sorry.
Let me just say, I feel like since this is the 1960s Star Trek 2, I think for our viewers we should all do the turbulence
Okay.
times 2.
Yeah.
So I think we should do it to the right first,
Okay,
and then
that's
to the
this
left.
hand.
Okay, are we ready?
Give us a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna clip that. Atlas, can you please clip that? We're just gonna, and we hear that. Hey, Jim and the Great Barrier, welcome. Oh my God, they're raiding with a whole party of 2. All right, we've doubled our audience. Yeah, we're doing Celestial Algorithm, the one-shot episode that's taken us 25 weeks. Yeah, you do get disrupted, and we're going to use the animated series, that rumbly sound where the bridge shakes like that from the top, where they just zoom the camera into the bridge a couple of times. So yeah, the Burke, you don't get any emergency. Well, you do. You may get emergency alert. What I want to find out is though, when you're in the room, because I'm going to quick cut over. When you're in the room, at what point in your exam are you? Because what I really want to have is a scene where you have a rubber glove and you're interrupted either by a comms or a ship shake. I like the idea that you go, okay, we're going to check the Orions. But
Hang on,
Dr.
who did you
Voraal,
say?
you're investigating somebody.
Oh, me. Yeah. Well, I was going to do a scan. I wasn't going to do a rectal exam.
You know, sometimes you get a little carried away.
Scan.
Exam.
Come on, this is a VA office.
Yeah, this is the
All
VA.
same.
Let me see. So, Dr. Voraal, you're attempting to do a basically surreptitious scan. I take it. Okay.
Yes.
Anyone in particular, or?
I'm going to do the whole group as we're walking to the quarters, and I'm scanning for the hormones or anything that would be biochemistry off from what should be normal.
What we're going to do is we're going to do dice against dice for your surreptitiousity, surreptitude, whatever. Okay. That one is definitely going to be probably security, and I'll go with control. And since you were hot and bothered about I don't know if fitness would work, but I think that's a control security kind of thing.
Okay, so control security to be sneaky, and then will I do a medical roll for the scan? Okay. I mean, I'm not terribly concerned if they see me scanning, but so that's a 12. What I'm targeting, and I got a 2 and a 19.
Well, okay, Thalov didn't notice as you were scanning. He was the one that was probably going to be the most noticeable, because Hernandez is trying to tell Skan all about how, like, he's trying to describe, like, and now we're prisoners of an overzealous Federation police state. And Skan is just really excited because this fits into the podcast he's been listening to. He's a sovereign Tellarite. Your next move is he didn't definitely, ties go to you. So go ahead and run your medical scan.
All right, I'm going to spend 3 momentum for 2 extra dice. Okay. And I've got genetics for a focus.
And if it were about their parentage, that would mean something. Okay, go ahead. Well, you can also pick up. So you could pick up traces of DNA then, too. If did they eat a thing? That's also there. Medicine and I personally, I think it's reason, but you can make a case for insight as well.
That's fine. Nope. That's my best roll, so I'll take it. 17. So that is 4 successes.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't write this. That's what they gave me.
Nothing on you. Okay, so what you've got hit. Let me see. Have any insighting through? I missed kind of what you said.
Basically, looking for any traces of hormones or something that's wrong with DNA, things like that. Anything that would be off from normal readings for their biology.
No, you don't pick up anything bad. They're actually all testing fairly clean in terms of they're all healthy. There's no traces of foreign substances, especially not anything that would involve poaching, right? So they weren't lying about it when they said they were, that they keep things clean, they keep things, if that makes sense. So that I hate to waste your effort, because it's they're telling the truth. They were, they don't seem to have any traces of it, and you did definitely get a good solid scan. There's not a doubt in your mind.
And nothing topical. They haven't put any kind of things topically.
No, they haven't.
Like
and you don't detect that they poured bleach on themselves. There's no attempt at. There's no attempt to foil a forensic exam.
Okay, and their DNA is all matching what they are.
They appear to be what they are. You do sense, you do get that there's some Skun's DNA is on the whip, but just traces on the riding crop. And Hernandez tends to have more cross contamination with Skun, but not anything naughty. So it's as if he just, had hands on him and stuff. So you do get that kind of cross-contam. if that makes sense. But is there nothing, nothing that's going to trip you?
Okay.
So as that happens, you guys, the ship starts shaking and rumbling a bit. And what is happening next is, Rashid, I'm going to assume that you can probably monitor things from here. Okay. Yep. You know how, what would it be like to be inside of a balloon as it deflates? Terrifying. Okay, what I'd like you to do is explain that to the captain or to the other players. Go ahead and lay it on you. The waiting room is becoming a waiting closet at this point. It's shrinking rapidly.
Okay, is that just my feeling, or the sensors saying it just?
I'm going to say that once there was a disruption, you ran to the nearest control console. We'll figure out that there's some level of auxiliary control that you have, at least where you can get a reading about what's happening. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're witnessing that, and you might have to describe it because Nell is like a little bit upset about what's happening to the ship. It's like, what the hell?
Looks
Are we
like
in a wormhole or something?
No, it looks like our parking space went from extra wide to a compact. Looks like this waiting room is shrinking a bit.
Oh, wait, what?
I'm gonna try and get more readings. Like, how big was it when we started? How big is it now? What changes?
Yeah, it's we're gonna go with a way that I don't remember the size, but it was easily gonna fit several dozen starships, and it is now rapidly shrinking down, and it's not just shrinking as a ball, it's kind of like collapsing from the back and kind of pushing you toward what would be laughingly called a possible wall.
Okay, and that is pretty much what I describe is
Okay.
that we're being pushed forward. I don't see an opening though.
Nella's looking around. She's looking at the sensor officer. Zoe, I need you to find me a hole. And she calls somebody else down, calls up to the bridge, or Xanthus, and says, I need you to make me a hole, Xanthus. Is everything okay down there with the prisoners?
I hadn't gotten to the other prisoners. I just started softening up their captain. All right, he's gonna run for a console where he can start dialing in some weapons.
Okay. The phaser banks are going to come online in about a hot second. Dr. Voraal, you're cool. Jaxa, you've got some issues where were you maintaining a stable warp field before this? How are the ship's engines?
I would
Yeah.
assume so.
I hope so.
Okay.
Should be fine.
You're getting some alerts on your Pip-Boy. We're just going to pretend that. You've got the equivalent of a Pip-Boy. No.
Or the other guys in engineering could just call me on my communicator.
Okay. So, all I'm gonna say is Ensign Carlton, the doorman. Ensign Carlton is calling up, and he's like, "Sir, I know you told us not to bug you when you weren't here."
Well, I just felt the ship vibrate, so obviously this is a time.
Okay, I just wanted to check because you got really mad the last time. I had to talk to HR, and they told me just to ignore it because racist reasons. That I should just ignore abusive behavior because that's just how you are.
I do like your good
Okay.
argument. And remember, I only respect people that argue back.
Okay, well then you might want to have a conversation with the ship because you're really going to respect the warp field. It's arguing with the controls like nobody's business, sir.
I'll be right down.
And you waddle aggressively out of the shot.
Waddle with the lac. I'm going to waddle with the lac to the turbo lift.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is, Zoe, you need to give me a sensor scan, which is reason and control, or reason and control, reason and science.
Yep. So, since we're playtesting, can you help me understand traits again? So do we, if so, my thinking is, we're being pushed towards this wall. Would creating a trait be actually creating a hole in that wall as a feature using momentum?
Yeah, you can do that.
Essentially how it works?
Yeah, you can actually say, "Oh, look! What amazing random happenstance! There happens to be a hole where I need one." Yeah, we can. I'm going to go with serendipity as your friend. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of you. We got somebody who says cheap viewers. Cool. And I can't get rid of Atlas. So if you wanna punt that person. So what you're gonna do is just spend the 2 points and say, yeah, there is a hole opening directly ahead.
Okay.
And the ship, thank you so much.
And we're being pushed directly towards that hole.
You're being pushed directly toward that hole. Yeah. Xanthus, you've gotten to the point where weapons can be brought online, and you see that there is a hole opening. What I need is a security and let me see what was the dumb thing I was going to make you do here. I need a security and either insight or something with spatial relations. Reason? It's up to you.
Okay. I think a security insight is great. Would precision, considering it's my specialty with having an understanding of ship systems and operations.
Yes. Specifically, is the ship going to fit through that hole? Or do you need to do something about that? So you're going to, this is like your...
Or do I need to do
This is your fire, no fire situation.
A 9 and a 6, which is fantastic because that's well under my
all right.
security insight.
All right. You definitely see that it is going to be it's going to be a serious, the ship isn't going to even have a tight fit. This hole opened right up as you're being shoved out into it. So, that was that. You don't have to open up a weapon. You have to cut a hole in anything. If that makes sense.
Okay. Absolutely. Makes perfect sense. He is still going to be, because I don't know what's on the other side of that hole. So he's like fingers poised over the phasers, ready to just start blasting.
He's setting up to do that. What I want next is, let me see. I've got a thing where, because I want to kind of do a bit of a reveal, which I hope will work. Let me see, characters, no, up. And one more. I'm going to be really pissed if I don't have this for the reveal. Come on. Okay, what happens is you guys do pop through the other side, and in glorious color, which I thought I had, let me see, file, open. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all right.
File. I just ran out of where it was. Strange New Playtest Challenger. Yeah, that's where you should be. When you lose your pieces on the board, you don't have how many? What is it called? Yeah, and it should be W, right? Compound W.
That moment where someone points and goes, "Whose figurine is this?"
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, Star Trek Playtest Challenger. And, oh, that's why. All right. Yeah, so now you, let me see, you're there. And hopefully I can actually get that to work. You guys see this?
So the hole was actually an exit from the sphere.
Let's go with...
political events.
Yeah, let's go with something dumber. I may have to actually do a correct thing here. It's not quite the sphere itself that's exited. But yeah, I'll copy there, and send it back. Origin. Yeah, so you've got your ship is now in the presence of 3 gigantic space whales. With the 2 larger ones, maybe circling around the smaller one. Okay.
So the ship went from sort of the waiting area into another area within the sphere.
Correct.
Is that...
Yeah, you got pushed out through a hole, and you're now popped out into something that's a little bit more like what I'd consider, I don't know, an intestine would be a nice thing. Rashid, you can make a con, and let me see. This is where you're actually going to start looking at things.
Okay.
Rashid, you've got a difficulty level 3 control and con task coming up on you. Yeah, we can relocate to the bridge. It's okay. But basically, that's going to be almost impossible until the engines are rebalanced. But you're getting kind of shoved out, like how the bladder went and you just popped out. The ship is kind of continuing forward toward the whales. The 2 big ones and the little one. And the 2 big ones are circling the little one. It's up to you how you want to interpret that behavior.
You have been brought before the Council of Whales.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to buy more dice. Let's see. I think I'll just go 1 momentum spend. So I'm doing 3 dice. Would push the limits count towards this?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to try and do this, part of it is if you want to try and do this without engines, I would say push the limits would be very useful.
Well, thrusters probably is where I'm going.
But yeah, to get you this much, to do this much diversion or movement, you'd push the limits for it.
All right, so that means I give you 1 threat to ignore. So it's now 2 difficulty instead of 3. I'm still spending the 1 momentum to roll 3 dice. Let me see here.
Okay.
And either evasive action or starship tactics might be my focus on this one.
I would go with evasive. Yeah, because I feel that's
all right.
That's what you're evading hitting the whales would be my biggest guess.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be one of them. Also, do you want to call down to the engineering department and ask them if you can get more power or anything like that?
That's probably a very good idea. Give them a heads up. Probably need some thruster power.
Okay.
Because is it just the warp drive that's screwed, or is the impulse engines also messed up?
Right now, it looks like the warp envelope is not working, and I do believe impulse is a separate system. It should be working, but what I need to know is you pick evens or odds, and Owen, could you roll a 20-sided die and tell Rashid what he's won?
I will call for evens.
You have won a
All right.
16.
I believe that counts as even. Yeah, in this case, the impulse engine is online.
Okay.
It wasn't fouled
So
up.
I'll let engineering know. Thrusters, impulse engines.
Yep.
All right. And
And Burke, are you gonna like yell?
Those are all good. Those are all good. You've got plenty of impulse and thrusters. I don't know what's going on with the warp field yet. I'm working on it.
cool. So let's see. Well, that's definitely 3 successes. That gives us 1 momentum.
Okay.
I guess also untapped potential comes in handy. Because I bought a die with momentum. So let me roll and see what comes up under my daring or not.
Oh, that's right, because you can regenerate momentum on that, right?
Yep. So rolled a 5 on that. So 1 bonus momentum. So 2 momentum into the
Holy
pot.
crap. Okay, that's nice. That puts us up to 10, correct? I'll hit save.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. You do manage to stop, and also, while you were doing that, you also got an idea of roughly you're starting to also get scans of the tunnel system. It looks like you might be in more of a tunnel situation now. Which is good in some ways because you're not in a waiting room. And but you do have these 2 whales circling a smaller whale. I don't know what you want to. If you want to just shoot them, apparently Xanthus has decided that harpooning is on the menu.
No, Xanthus is targeting the whales just in case, but he's not firing. Oh, come Space Captain Ahab, target the whales.
Oh God. Well, yeah. So our next move is yeah. Let me see. Say for a minute. Yeah. So she's yeah. Well, she's the captain said, "Well, I'm tired of sitting in a room," and she starts heading off. It's like, okay, are we safe? She's heading for the bridge. And says, "Well, now great. Now we got these things. I don't want another Mud and Lorca situation here." So she's pulling stuff out like, I don't want to deal with that, with anything like that.
All right, Zoe follows her to the bridge as well.
Okay. Rashid, I'm assuming you're reporting to the bridge.
Yep.
Okay. And it's a challenger on screen. Good. Wait, where did I have you guys? Okay. Grabbing you guys off the bridge.
Are these Gormaganders, or are there some other kind of space whale?
These will be Gormaganders because that's what's written in the rules. But yeah, I didn't like the Gormagander pictures, and there was only one of them, and it looked really gooey and orificey, and I wanted to have something more fun.
Yep. Okay.
So
like it.
you've got these nice whales. They are swimming in an unusual pattern, or well, I don't know because I'm not a science guy. I wouldn't know what's normal or not.
Well, Zoe is not exactly an anthropologist or a xenobiologist, but she's a botanist.
Okay.
And she's a native plant hugger, tree hugger. Sorry,
Plant hugger. And they got tentacles. It's kind of like a vine. That's pretty close. But yeah, you're a Starfleet science officer, so you know these things.
Life can flourish anywhere. That's one of her values.
That is. You're really excited because it looks like, for all the world, like a pod, a family. if you want to anthropomorphize it.
And do their movements indicate presumably they're trying to protect the child, or they're just playing? Are they trying to escape?
It definitely looks like if you well, let's just say you're into it that they're protecting it. That there are two large ones circling the small one. It's actually kind of hard to get a read on this, or the small one isn't. You can't see it very well.
Well, how did they get here?
I don't know. Maybe you should talk to somebody who's still locked up with the prisoners. Dr. Voraal. you have some prisoners nearby.
I was really close to the prisoners. I'm using a. I was literally going to talk to the other prisoners.
Okay. I like the idea that you have an iPad that you're running the ship's weapons from.
Yeah. Oh no, I thought he was using like one of the consoles out in the hallway, and he's just routed his position on the bridge into it. It's just
sorry, you're using a remote VPN. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you're they can fill you in if you want to. That they see whales.
Is Zora's ship large enough to hold 3 Gormaganders?
Oh no, hell! It's like a Winnebago.
Yeah, that's what. So how would they know anything about these things?
I don't know.
Gormaganders.
Why I love that Cameron redeemed something.
Like they sing.
I mean, anybody who wants to can actually make that as a comment. But yeah, what do you want to approach the himbos about? Because you now know that the ship is here. It's got a tactical display. You basically have little crosshairs on all the whales, and they're just tracking them around in a very creepy way.
Yeah.
The captain is.
He's just got a. He's distracted by the problem of ship, hull, shunt, whale. He was gonna go into it like really intense on these guys, but he doesn't have time for that now. He's just going to actually look at them, and it's okay. Things are developing fast. I was going to go with this in a more slow demeanor, but I don't have time for that. You're getting the glacier hitting you at full speed.
But not the whales, because somebody steered the ship.
I don't know what you were here for. And quite frankly, unless it's incredibly illegal, I see us let. But every second you spend making us have to figure out whether or not what you were doing was illegal and not trying to solve the problem of us being trapped wherever is another second where we could all die. Now, I need to go figure out why there are whales not singing, which is more important than whatever it is you're doing.
At the mention of that, all Herod, Gala, and Thilv light up, and they're extremely excited, and then they're also a little worried because they said, "Wait, they're here." Did you find George and Gracie?
George and Gracie. Pink and blue Gormagander whales?
Oh, that's them. Can we see? Can we see? And they just really try and leave the room, like trying to go to somewhere.
Yes. He'll disable the weapon interface, but leave the targeting system up and show them the tracked by targeting, ready to fire phasers at the whales on his pad.
They're not super thrilled about that particular thing. Let me see if they'd even notice, to be honest. They are super excited about seeing the whales, though. Yeah, they don't notice. And Scone is Scone is actually like, wait, are we there yet? Do we get to see the whales? So he was very excited about this too. It's like, this was in the brochure. This is great. And he wants to, now he's saying like, okay, well, let's get these off. And let's go see the whales. So Harad's going to say, well, you just wait. You just hush. You'll be okay.
Whales. You guys came out here to see whales?
They kind of look at you. It's like, well, yeah.
That's a secret that you're being incredibly evasive about?
Hey, look, we take care of this.
Whales?
And you have no idea how many people would want to know where these things are.
He's just gonna look at his doctor friend. It's absolutely looking at Voraal for clarification here, and just pointing at his pad. Whales. Hoping that his Vulcan friend can explain this.
I have no explanation.
The scientists, why do people want to go see whales?
And then the impulse engines are all right. The captain is also going to call down to engineering, and say, Burke, what did I hear about you not having the warp driver working?
There's an anomalous power spike in the port warp nacelle. I'm going to have to get somebody up the Jeffries tube and see what's causing
Well,
it.
send that guy that I really don't like. Send Trip.
Oh, yeah. Ensign Carlton.
Yeah, him or Trip. Send Trip.
Yeah, I can send Trip. All right, so I'll send the Ensign Trip.
No, it's Commander Trip. He knows how to fix things. Unlike you, he knows how to fix things.
Okay. He's dead, isn't he?
Nella's saying, what? Who died down there?
This could be Trip. This could be Trip.
Well, she's actually asking who the casualties are. You didn't tell me there were casualties. Where's Trip?
Oh, I see what's happening. Commodore, I think you're remembering something from the history tapes. The logs of the Enterprise or something.
No, why would I care about Jean-Luc Picard?
Who?
The captain of the Enterprise.
No, he's a winemaker from France.
Well,
Then again, Tellarite drinks Picard's Chateau.
Oh, that's shit.
We like to have it with our pig slop.
No, that. Don't let him hear you say that. So yeah, you've got some confusion on the captain's part, but they are refusing to drop out of the race. But that may change in the next episode.
All right, well, I'll send my best guy out there, which means
Okay.
me.
Did Zoe have anything possibly as a scan?
On the
Yes.
whales? Wow. Other than just science and
Oh yeah, no. Go ahead and do a little bit of an in-depth thing if you don't mind. Like take a second scan.
sure. Well, again, I can add a free 20 as well, just because of the previous scan success. As long as it's related. One success, so 2.
Okay. You are picking up. You scanned all the whales because they're a family unit, and why not gather the data on them because you get paid by the gigaquad. And you do notice that the smaller whale is showing signs of a serious infection of some sort. That its life signs are not doing well.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Captain. Yeah, Captain. I'm detecting the smaller whale is infected with a metaphasic, an osmotic, an osmotic flux, a biomimetic osmotic flux infection.
Okay. Well, is that bad?
Well, it's not doing well. We could lose it if we don't stabilize the flux.
Okay, and Nella's Nella's got a thing where she does definitely remember the Starfleet regulation about missing and endangered species. And says how, and she's actually staring at the screen. Well, how the hell did they get in here?
I don't know, Captain.
Okay, well, shoot, we're actually required to render aid no matter what, aren't we? That's probably a directive. That's one of those directives Jonathan kept bombing on about when he was bothering me. So she's she's gonna actually ask for, well, Zoe, looks like you found a problem. How about a solution?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
if we can attenuate the subharmonic confinement beam,
I don't want to cut them open.
we can blast the young whale with a subharmonic beam that might disrupt the cellular decay.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, is there any chance that that thing's going to try and start sucking on the warp drive?
Well, there's also a chance that the parents may think we're attacking it.
Okay, that's not a good idea. I need a backup plan. Hey, why don't we ask the what do those guys downstairs know about these things?
Well, they probably know where the holes are, and that's about it.
I'm going to say that Xanthus, you have access to the bridge comms, and we're just going to pretend you have an earpiece for this this exchange.
Xanthus is very much in the flavor of just looking at these people and going, so tell me more about these whales. Specifically pointing at Dr. Voraal. Tell Dr. Voraal more about these whales.
What?
Because I'm going to understand maybe a fourth.
Yeah, basically, they don't know much about a starship, but they know whale biology like nobody's business. So they start, discussing, they're actually very animate and excited about, like, hey, this is great. We've got this, we've got this pod. So far, they've been not poached. So what we're really trying to do is keep that kind of on the DL, so we don't have people maybe raiding them, because Jandis Fix has a personal zoo, and we really don't want George and Gracie to go in there with little baby Jillian.
Didn't know about baby Jillian a minute and a half ago, and you've already named it. That's impressive.
Well, what do you mean we didn't know about them?
You said you were surprised. You only had names for the two adult whales.
Well, yeah, but those are the only ones you had phaser locks on, like, for the most part. But yeah, it's like
So,
little baby
Commander-
Jillian. It's like, oh, that's cool. But, and they do look at the patterns. Are you letting them see more of the details, or are you tied into Rob's thing? Are you tied into Zoe's scans, or do you not give a shit?
So we're going to just let Xanthus know that
I'm not tied into Zoe's scans. I'm looking at this from the
Okay.
tactical All I'm doing is let them see what the tactical station shows, which, I mean, it's a bit.
So, Commander, I can see that you're broadcasting the whales to our passengers. Let them know there's an osmotic biomimetic flux infection on the youngest one.
What in the world is an osmotic mimetic, biotic mimetic flux infection, and why would it be on a space?
It's serious. Let's just let them know.
Is it serious?
Commodore,
Okay, I'll let them know.
Commodore, I think we're aggravating the whales because they're getting closer.
Well, what? That doesn't. Why would they bother us?
Well, we haven't started zapping them, have we?
Well, I'm considering a subharmonic resonance beam, but we're concerned about the response from the parents.
So yeah, they are swimming around. Thelib, the himbos, Gala is like definitely looking at this screen and seeing the whales actually kind of circling toward it. They're also wondering why. He says, "Well, why is Jillian like, why is she not, hanging with them?" And they kind of all look at each other and go, because they haven't heard the phrase biomimetic osmotic flux, right?
No, he would have actually said that out loud to that in their presence to try and figure out what in the world is going on here. He is a security officer. This is not something to shoot right now.
Okay, so you did mention.
They're using.
Oh, sorry, but you did mention the disease, right?
I don't know what osmotic biomimetic flux is,
Okay.
but I'll be sure to ask them
Okay,
about
sorry,
it.
I was running a couple of. I was basically
You're good.
moonlighting as a GM for another group while we were doing this. Apparently, that's the level of distraction I have. And let me see. Cameron seemed suggestive for Thelib. Oh God, they're not going to make that suggestive. Actually,
About the whales.
Thelib and Gala look at each other and go, "That's that. Okay, that explains it. That's why." And they go, "Well, we gotta, little Jillian, she's got an ear infection." So they diagnose the osmotic issue as an ear infection, or at least that's what they're telling Voraal, or telling Xanthus.
Okay.
Got it.
And since Dr. Voral's in the room with me, I'm just going to look at her and be like, "Can
We
you?
got some ear infections.
How would you fix this?"
On a resonance beam to shake its head apart.
Talking about the whales?
Yes, I mean technically they're an endangered species. We're going to have to render aid, and we don't want to agitate them. So, you're the doctor.
I'm a doctor, not a vet.
Well, I'm a botanist, not a doctor, so I wonder if the comm officer has the same problem as Jillian.
By the way, both Zoe and Dr. Voraal have a point of personal momentum that I'm granting, which I think is a second edition rule. That's for banter. You invoked the "I'm a doctor, not a" thing and then countered it. So you each get a point of personal momentum to remind me of later.
Okay, cool, sweet.
Okay, yeah. So right now you can kvetch. I don't know what you want to try. Rashid, you might want to remind people about some other problems that are coming up because nobody's paying attention to you.
Yeah, well, it's going to come and bite us all in the ass later. Commodore, do you have any orders, or you want me to just keep doing evasive patterns?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I need you to give me a evasive pattern Omega Riker 3, please.
Sure, no problem.
And then she swivels over and looks at Zoe. It's like, hey, do you know who's messing with these whales? What's bugging them? I mean, we're backing off. They shouldn't be coming toward us.
Well, maybe the biomimetic flux is messing with their navigational abilities.
Is it possible that whatever's going on with that one warp nacelle is bugging them?
Engineering the bridge. I think I'm going to have to take the warp core offline. Are we good with just impulse or thrusters for a couple of hours?
Lieutenant Kamel, yeah, what do you think? You good?
Yeah.
Because I don't see us warping out of anything real soon here.
All right. I'm shutting it down now.
Wait, like the whole core?
Or is he... Yeah, it'll take us about 4 hours to reboot it, but this is a serious problem in the Fort Worth.
Yeah, she's going to ignore that it's a 4-hour downtime. She's just going to expect it to be back on at some point. Just be prepared. Yeah, you go ahead and pull that offline. Just be, and she also says, hey, don't forget to check with Mr. Scott about the about a restart. Maybe that'll speed up your process.
Who? Okay.
Who?
No problem.
He's the Scottish guy. Sounds like Rashid.
I don't know
Okay,
him.
well,
Yeah, no, Dr. Voraal, we need to. Commodore, can you just hold on for a moment? Me and Dr. Voraal will be right there, and I'm just dragging
Okay.
Dr. Voraal off from these people.
Okay.
We need to check on the Commodore. She's been acting strange, and this is now she's talking about maneuvers I don't have, and crew members who definitely are not members of our crew. My Commodore, who I am very, very fond of and, loyal to, has a problem. I'm getting the doctor in front of her now.
Did you release the Orions?
No, I'm leaving them
I
locked
just didn't
up.
know where we were at with that.
Besides whale stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys
I
can.
will keep you informed on the whales. Stay here. I'll be back.
Okay.
I'm dragging the doctor.
They are definitely fidgeting about this because they're, it's like, they're going because you left them the pad, right, where you can see the whales, and they're definitely sad because she's sick, and as you leave, you think they may have said something, but you're on your way out because of the captain. And then
the cap.
Yep.
The captain asking for crew members who isn't here is a really big problem.
Yep. So he's so you guys come up on the bridge. Rashid, the whales stop pursuing the ship, so you can go back into regular pattern. Warp core is shut down. And what do you guys want to do with the captain at this point, or the Commodore?
Is this going to be connected with our prior experience? My prior experience? With
Quite
them?
possibly.
Okay. Do I know what would? Is there something I can give the Commodore that would kind of?
Well, you gave her something in the past that took care of the pain, and brought her acetylcholine levels down. And she was more stable. Now she's not. She's not in pain, but she's definitely processing some things.
Captain, do you need me to take over?
Who was that Xanthus?
That's Zoe,
Oh,
as
Zoe?
usual. That's
Oh, hell no.
every episode.
Every episode,
every
Zoe's
episode.
going to snap her out of it. No, I'm fine. And then she just sort of like slams her hand back on the chair, just as Voraal and Xanthus seem to arrive.
Sooner or later, Zoe will get command.
She will. She's just,
Wondering if this isn't something where I maybe need to do a mind meld.
oh, that would be cool. I want to see how that works. Where do your hands go?
No problem.
What do you mean
Well,
where my hands go?
It's Trill. So, my belly to your belly.
Oh, jeez.
My belly to your belly.
It's gonna be like touching a pregnant woman. Yeah, you can if you want to. What's happening is that you're picking up the scans. You're aware, and I mean this is for you guys to ignore. Nella is a joined Trill in a time when you're not supposed to have them, or you're not supposed to know about it. But she is joined. So, and Voraal is in on it. You can attempt it because nothing you've got as a scan works.
Okay.
And I don't know what the actual protocol is, if anyone's actually read the rules on mind melds, which are fucking thin on the ground in this game.
Well, it says here, it's on my character sheet as, this is always require a task, normally control science, with a difficulty of at least 1, which can be opposed by an unwilling participant. Momentum may be spent to gain more information.
Okay, so Xanthus, Doctor, you see Dr. Voraal warming up the mind reading hands.
Yeah, he's just looking at Dr. Voraal. It's that bad? Okay. And he's not happy about it, but he accepts
and
this.
Ensign Teneman's kind of staring at this whole thing like it's totally new to him. So he's just sort of like, oh, that's cool. And so, what you doing? You know, and
I'm attempting to identify what is the Commodore's mental state and to verify there's nothing wrong.
Okay, and then she looks, Teneman also looks at the captain, looks at Xanthus, looks at Voraal, and is a little confused and starts asking questions like, well, why is he blue? I like that one. I think you might want to ask that of Teneman as well. And now's your chance to take on personnel. But yeah, if you want to start the mind meld, we've got a disrupted captain. Okay. We have the whales have backed off, but they're sick. And you're about to begin a mind meld. And so what I want to do is call that a halt to the session as a cliffhanger, such as it is. Does anybody need to injure themselves, fall into a plasma conduit, accidentally open an airlock? Any of those would work. Hey, Mr. Goliath-Man, we're just about to quit. Anyway, so thanks, guys, for this. We're gonna like do it as, and because it's a joint trail, I really want to hear about how the mind meld will work from Dr. Voraal. Next time we join, hopefully you'll be able to join us. But everybody, I wanted to say thanks for playing. I know that this was a little bit more of a courtroom episode than it needed to be. But we also have some things going on this week for the channel. Unfortunately, it's a lot of vacation time. It seems we have Wednesday. We have coming up. We have an off the rails or Jackbox. Thursday, you're gonna have to check the Discord to see if we have an event or situation. We do have Cookie Trek coming up, so if you do need some randomized Star Trek adventure, unlike the one we have here, which is finely crafted and very carefully laid out. If you need to have a bit of a relax and hit up a lower deck style game, visit us on Friday. And then on Sunday, we have Tomb of Annihilation for D&D 5th edition, which is DM Dave and Goliath. No, not that one. Okay, that's going to be funny. Kenneth found a massive ruby with the magic detecting powers. Jaeger fed gems to a gargoyle statue, and the Cure tried to Ant-Man a giant demon. All the while, Scrod kept up his babysitting duties. Join us next time for more chaos in the Tomb of the Nine Gods. And then Monday, we do roll around. We are going to be off for that, as I'm going to be on vacation. And then Tuesday next week will be our sister broadcast, Conan, Adventures in an Age of Dreamed Of. So what I wanted to do is say thanks again, everybody. I don't quite have a raid, so what do you guys think is going to happen next? What are your predictions for next week's next session?
A very uncomfortable mind meld.
A cold warp core and the necessity for escape.
Okay, we have a cold warp core.
Bizarre Orions who aren't up to anything that Orions would normally be up to?
Orion's not being a racist caricature, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And we had, what was the other one? Awkward mind meld?
A very uncomfortable mind meld.
Probably going to have to. The Commodore's a woman.
Yes, as far as you know, she definitely does. In Star Trek, even in the '60s, that was totally up for grabs. So yes, she is a female, and somehow still in command of a starship.
Despite Zoe's multiple protestations.
Yes. And despite like a TOS episode of BS, women can be doctors and can be in starships, run starships. And then Zoe, what do you think is going to happen?
Well,
shoot.
that was the very.
Oh, that was you.
Meld,
Okay,
but
I'm sorry. I thought that was Voraal.
Yep.
I thought that was okay. Voraal, you got an idea?
I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to describe the mind meld.
I'm going to put very, very uncomfortable on that. And Steve, what do you think will happen, or what do you fear or wish would happen next week?
I'm thinking we're going to find a connection between the whales and at least the chief comms officer going loopy.
All right. And then what is the deal with the comms officer? Okay. And I'm going to just follow the wait, don't tell me thing. If any of these things happen next week, someone gets points of momentum. And yeah, that'll work. So what I'm going to do is say goodnight. I'm probably not going to do a raid, but take care, everybody. I'm going to stop the stream. Good luck, and everybody see you next time. See you Wednesday. So everybody wave and then smile, or do the forced Star Trek laugh, like, you know.